It is just after 7 in the evening in New York on February 10th, and 10 long days have passed since Nancy Guthrie was reported missing from her home in Tucson. The desert sun has set, but the search has not. Volunteers continue scanning foothills under artificial light. Tip lines remain active. Investigators move carefully, methodically. And at the center of this storm stands Savannah Guthrie, publicly silent since her last video appeal. No new statement, no visible breakdown, just stillness. For many watching, that silence feels heavy. In crises, we expect constant updates, raw emotion, visible urgency. Instead, there is restraint. But silence does not mean absence of feeling. Sometimes it means the opposite. Sometimes it means a person is gathering strength, choosing words with care, and carrying more internally than the outside world can immediately see. A different voice speaks. On this 10th day, it was not Savannah who spoke. It was Anderson Cooper, a journalist known for his calm intensity and steady presence in the face of global disasters. According to those present on a private video call, he shared reflections not for headlines, but for understanding. He has known Savannah for years, crossed paths with her in studios, green rooms, and field coverage. What he described was not spectacle, it was context. He spoke about the bond between mother and daughter, about a dynamic shaped long before television cameras entered the picture. His tone, they said, was measured but deeply human. Not dramatic, not accusatory, simply reflective. He wasn't analyzing a news subject. He was speaking about someone he respects, someone he has watched operate under pressure for more than a decade. The foundation Nancy built, Anderson reportedly began by acknowledging the force that is Nancy. Widowed young, raising children without much cushion, she built her family with resolve. Strength was not optional in that household. It was survival. Love was expressed through preparation, through resilience, through teaching her children to stand upright in a world that rarely bends. Savannah absorbed that lesson early. Discipline, composure, forward motion. These traits did not appear when she entered journalism. They were already there. Nancy's philosophy was simple: meet hardship with steadiness. Handle what needs handling. Feel deeply, perhaps, but do not let emotion derail action. In many ways, that mindset shaped Savannah's remarkable career. It also shapes how she is navigating this moment now, as a daughter searching for her mother while the nation watches. Reading the public messages. When Savannah released her first public video days into the search, viewers saw gratitude first. She thanked supporters, described her mother with warmth, then addressed the circumstances directly. The structure was careful, logical, clear. According to Anderson's reflections, that structure is not accidental. It mirrors the discipline she learned growing up. Respond, don't react. Communicate, don't unravel. In her second video, when she stated firmly, "We will pay," the tone remained steady. There was no visible panic, no dramatic crescendo, just commitment. Some viewers interpreted that as extraordinary strength. Others wondered how she could possibly sound so composed. Perhaps the answer lies in habit. In years of learning that clarity under pressure is not optional, it is expected, especially when the stakes are this high. The difference between strength and suppression. Anderson reportedly drew a thoughtful distinction between strength and suppression. Strength is the ability to endure and act with purpose. Suppression is the act of burying emotion so deeply it never surfaces publicly. Savannah's composure may contain both. It is entirely possible to feel fear intensely while still presenting calm. Many journalists, doctors, first responders, and parents do exactly that. They compartmentalize, they move forward. But the cost of that compartmentalization can be heavy. When the public sees steadiness, they often assume peace. In reality, steadiness can exist alongside trembling. The ability to maintain focus does not erase vulnerability. It simply postpones its visibility. And in a crisis involving a parent, vulnerability runs deep, no matter how practiced the exterior might appear. A mother and a daughter, then and now. What makes this story resonate is not only the investigation, it is the timeless thread between mother and daughter. Savannah has spoken in the past about how her upbringing shaped her ambition and work ethic. She has also demonstrated a softer approach with her own children, encouraging openness and emotional expression. That evolution suggests reflection, growth, and intentional parenting. Generations learn from one another, sometimes repeating patterns, sometimes adjusting them. In moments like this, those layers surface powerfully. A daughter raised to be unshakable now faces the possibility of losing the very person who instilled that strength. The instinct may be to honor that upbringing by embodying it fully, to remain composed, to show resilience, to prove, even now, that the lessons took root. The silence as loyalty. After the missed deadline, Savannah chose not to release another immediate update. For observers, the quiet felt ominous. For those who understand investigative realities, silence can also be strategic. Public statements during active cases are delicate. Words matter, timing matters. According to Anderson's interpretation, waiting may reflect discipline rather than despair, a belief in speaking only when there is something substantive to say, a desire not to complicate ongoing efforts. It may also reflect loyalty to a principle learned long ago. Do not let emotion outrun judgment. That loyalty can be protective. It can also be exhausting. Holding oneself together day after day requires immense internal energy, especially when uncertainty stretches on without clear resolution. The private cost of public grace. What the public rarely sees is what happens when cameras turn off. The late night thoughts, the quiet rooms, the balancing act between professional responsibilities and personal fear. Savannah is not only a journalist and daughter, she is a mother herself. Her children are watching, absorbing how adults respond to crisis. That awareness adds another layer of responsibility. Grace under pressure becomes not just personal, but generational. Yet even the strongest individuals need spaces where composure can soften. Trusted friends, family, faith, reflection. Anderson's reflection suggests that behind the unwavering public face may be a woman carrying immense emotional weight. Not collapsing does not mean not hurting. It simply means choosing when and where that hurt is allowed to surface. Hope beyond performance. Ultimately, this moment is not about dissecting personality. It is about hope. Search teams continue. Investigators remain engaged. Communities rally. In the midst of that, conversations about upbringing and expectation remind us that crises are never one-dimensional. They carry history inside them. They awaken old lessons and test long-held beliefs. If Nancy returns home safely, the reunion will hold layers far deeper than relief alone. It may offer space for words long understood but rarely spoken aloud. Words of unconditional love, words that separate strength from worthiness. And if those words are exchanged, they may free both mother and daughter in quiet, transformative ways. Until then, the desert remains lit. The phones keep ringing, and a family holds on to hope with everything they have.